This is Paz Simpson, aka the Happiness Engineer, but I'm coming to you today as the Program Director for Zero Youth Violence. We're here to talk to you about adult leadership training. Too many times we are leaving behind people who made mistakes as youth. Let me repeat that for you. Too many times we are leaving behind people who made mistakes as youth. I want you to go back and think. As a youth, how many mistakes you made, how many errors you made, how your youthful exuberance took you to explore. One of the things that I learned in my journey is that people are as responsible for who they are when they know better, right? When you know better, you can do better. Many people have failed, but too many of us are judging based on our failures. I learned from Les Brown that success is going from failure to failure without losing steam. But some of our failures as young people, as young men, as young women, are holding us back as older adults. Those mistakes may have landed us behind prison bars, may have gotten us incarcerated, may have put a criminal record on our backs, on our jackets, so people have tended to judge us based on those mistakes. But at 44 years old, I am not the same person I was at 19. And many of us have made mistakes that we just didn't get caught for, but we still want to judge. Let's take back. Let's look back. And let's make sure that we don't leave behind those who need us the most. Here at Promise Neighborhoods, we're doing adult leadership training, but we're not the only ones that should be. Each and every one of us who are owning businesses, who are leading nonprofits, who are in government, need to do adult leadership training. We need to open up the doors for those who have been challenged by the criminal system. We need to open up doors for kids who have made mistakes and joined the wrong kind of gangs, right? Everything, let me repeat this to you, everything can be considered a gang. If you join a large group of people and your large group of people turn on another group of people based on whatever circumstances it is, at that moment, you can be considered a gang member. But that doesn't make that who you are. Many of our youth have joined gangs, not because they wanted to be violent, not because they wanted to be evil, not because they wanted to be criminals, but because they wanted a sense of belonging, wanted to be part of a family. Maybe they didn't have mom and dad looking after them, auntie or uncle that can care for them, grandma or grandpa who can do and show them love. So they look for a sense of belonging. That sense of belonging has caused them to do some things that may have been challenging to what society says is right. But many times they're just trying to fit in. Or even worse, they're trying to feed their families. The lack of opportunity, lack of education has forced them to do things that they may not have wanted to, and don't ever get incarcerated. When I first came home from jail, it was so hard for me to get a job because I had this criminal record. People turned their backs on me. They didn't want to open up doors, but I was blessed. Not many people would have had the background that I had going into the prison system. I had already made some connections. I've already graduated college. So I had things that can open up new doors. I had relationships that I can lean into that opened up ways for me to leave my criminal past behind. But it's not always that easy. Some people need training. Some people need another opportunity. More importantly than the adult leadership training, they just need someone who's willing to understand and forgive. To understand and forgive. One of the things that I learned from Sharon Lecter, who was one of the authors of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is that money is to be invested or enjoyed. Everything else is wasteful. There's so many people who didn't get that lesson. I've been blessed to get that lesson in my 30s and was able to not only share that lesson with my children, but also use that lesson to influence my community and people that came after us. So as we think about how we're going to treat our youth, think about what we can teach our people. What I teach gangsters is that you have already been taught how to lead. You just need to be refocused, right? If you've ever expanded your territory as a gang member, right? You have already learned how to do acquisitions. If you already have put a flag in your back pocket, which symbolizes you're a member of that gang, you've learned branding and marketing. If you've ever sold a drug, you've learned distribution. It's just you didn't learn how to utilize those skills in the right way. Many of them don't even realize they've had mentorship. Their OG was a mentor. He just didn't teach them the things that they needed to know in order to survive and succeed in today's society. So what if we actually took the time to acknowledge the skills that they have, to harness those skills so that those people can become a lot more productive in society. We all have made mistakes. We all can benefit from adult leadership training. We all can not only take a love and a lesson from the promise.